jump the fence. Jump so high, it touches the sky. They come back until the 4th of July. Walk in the door. Did a walk in the door. Well, if you don't know how to do it, I'll show you how to walk.
September 12th, 2003. Didn't make the morning papers, he died in his sleep. In a world of loneliness, corruption and need, hatred of hatred, politics and greed. But I know I wasn't alone when I cried on the day Johnny Cash died. Yes, I know I wasn't alone when I cried on the day Johnny Cash died. An honest man, one who cared, a heart that big, well, that's something rare. In a world of broken promises and lies, it's comforting to know a man could walk the line.
Hi folks, how you doing tonight? Oh, we got a little echo happening in there. How about we back that down a bit? How's everybody doing this afternoon? I got a special show just for you today. Synthesis Canada. There's been a whole lot of talk about this page on Facebook. There's been a whole lot of talk about synthesissocial.com. The .com standalone Canadian-only membership website, synthesissocial.com. The founder of Synthesis Social, Gary Gilbert, has asked me to give him a few minutes of my airtime so that he can do a live show. And I'm broadcasting that out over Facebook, picking it up through my YouTube channel, and sending it back out just for you folks here on YouTube. So right now, let's flip over to the Facebook show that just opened. There we go, and we're live on Facebook. It should pick up any second. Hi Facebook, how you doing today? We've got a show coming up for you. I just need to get things set here on YouTube. YouTube is picking up the feed from my Politically Speaking group page on Facebook. And I'm just going to scroll down here and get to the live feed. That's not it. There we go. Click play. And mute that because I don't want to listen to it. Bear with me here, folks. I'll be right back to Facebook. I just got to make sure YouTube's good to go. And it looks like it. I think we've got it all situated here. Boom, shakalaka. So how's everybody doing today? And we'll bring that audio up a bit over there. We'll mute that microphone. I want to point out right here, oh, it won't let me highlight it. Right here, Stephen is referring to synthesis. I always have a hard time with that word. Synthesis Canada, okay? Not Synthesis Social, which is a standalone website, but he's referring to Synthesis Canada, a for some reason I don't see any audio coming up here. Let's try there. Okay, so now I can take those off. Stephen is referring to the Facebook group, a public group on Facebook called Synthesis Canada, which is like a public advertising portal for Synthesis Social. And I've received this same message from a number of people now. I don't know anything. I haven't spoken to Stephen about this. I've messaged him and haven't heard back from him. But then I haven't spoken to Stephen personally since the July rally in Ottawa when I was up in Ottawa with C3. I haven't spoken to him at all since then. So just so everyone can keep everything in context here. So that's the screenshot. As I say, I've gotten this message from a number of people. Now, I'm going to drop this back down out of here because we don't need to see pictures. I'm going to find my... No, okay. Let me try, Gary. I'm just going to plug in headphones and see if that makes life easier for me here. Boom shakalaka. Okay. So, folks, I now have Gary Gilbert. Oh, he just dipped off of the cam for a second. He was just here a second ago. I have Gary Gilbert in the lobby waiting to come in and join us. There, we'll bring him in and add him to the broadcast. There he is. Are you there, brother?
I am. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Shitty, but thanks for asking.
So, did you watch that little intro I did regarding the message that I've received?
I did. I caught most of it.
Okay.
I was trying to get ready, but I did catch most of it. And yeah, it was brought to my attention today as well. How and why it wasn't brought to me directly from Stephen, first, and why it was kind of an ambushed thing, I have no idea. But that is seemingly the message that's going out to a lot of people that have come to me as well and asked what's going on.
Okay. Well, as I said to you when you asked about coming on my show and using my platform, I said, I believe in freedom of speech, whether I agree with what you're saying or not. I believe in your right to say it. Now, it's just pure coincidence that over the last 3 to 5 days, I've received similar messages from different people, all sending me copies of that very same chat message that I showed at the beginning of this video. And it's honest. I didn't talk to you about it, and until today, you hadn't talked to me about it. These were completely independent followers and members of other groups and whatnot that I communicate with who said, hey, dude, you're supporting something that this guy seems to be dead set against and is pissed off at. And it just, I don't know, is it ironic or is it just the exposure of reality, transparency, as we like to call it?
Well, in the essence of transparency, I can provide all of the chat documentation between him and our group that states otherwise. His own words state otherwise. Yes, in fact, his very message was to me last night, and he stated, hey, you know what? I got more people to send to you, but I'm going to step back from politics. I'm quitting politics because I need to get my life back on track. That was his last message to me last night. And then he blocked me and started with this today. So it's kind of, on one hand, he's taking this stance. On another hand, he's taking this stance. So there's where the confusion and where the problems come in. Because the fact that because he blocked me, I can't respond or, address the issue. Hence why I came to you.
Okay. Well, I've told people who have brought this screenshot message to my attention, I've told them all the same thing, that from what I read in that message, Stephen is referring to the Facebook group and activity within that group. I don't see anything in his message. Two different messages I've seen from him that basically say the same thing, okay? Both of them referring to the Facebook group, not the .com website, which to me are two very different entities. The Facebook group is actually managed by several different administrators, and it could have been the words and actions of one of those administrators, not necessarily you, the owner and founder of synthesissocial.com.
Well, to get into that, I have to kind of do a little bit of the backstory of how it came about, how Stephen even became involved, or anybody else.
Okay, Gary, we don't need to get into that. And I'm also I agree. You have the background confirmation of information and communication flow. For those of you watching, Gary has sent me copies of the text messages and all the conversations between Stephen and himself. I'm not going to waste the bandwidth of posting them all for you to read. If you want to question what's being said here today, DukeWillis@gmail.com. I will gladly make all of this information available to you, and it will confirm what is being said and what you're hearing. Okay, this isn't conjecture. This isn't finger pointing. This is simply defending against what appear to be, as a third party, accusations. Whether they are or were intended to be that, I don't know. But if I was in Gary's shoes, I'd want a chance to set the record straight. And that's all he's doing here. He's not trying to blame anyone, and I'm not trying to blame anyone for anything. This is just so that moving forward, you, the future users of synthesissocial.com, know where the hell this man stands.
And I don't want anybody to misconstrue this as anything else that it's not. I don't want them to think that somehow Duke Willis is either supporting or condoning my stance at all. This is my stance. And sadly for me, I'm in a position where I have to take two stances, one as an individual and one as synthesis. And I need to, kind of keep myself in check so I don't cross that line and make it completely personal from that professional aspect, but these are definitely my statements, not anybody else's, not somebody else's supported ideas. The things that I'm sharing today will be from me. And again, like Duke said, if you want to have any questions, you want to touch base about it, you can call me on Facebook to make an idea of what's going on or whatever, with limited information.
There, folks, you can see his name there on the screen. He's on Facebook. You can message him. You can contact Gary. Make Trudeau a drama teacher again. Nice hat.
Can you put up my telephone number actually?
Sure.
807.
Hang on a second here. 807
9
709
6114. If you don't want to,
there it is, right there, folks.
If you don't want the expense of a long distance call, let me know and I'll call. I have to be long distance.
Yeah, it is, by the way, long distance to call Gary. He lives about 3.5 hours past the middle of fucking nowhere, right around the corner from you can't fucking get there from here.
You actually just said something that clicked my thought. Well, no, actually, we won't go there right now.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Do you have any questions in regards to the message you've been getting or the stance that how it reflects to do with me, for instance?
No. Do I have any questions? Have any been posed to me? No. And I told you a few minutes ago and earlier today on the phone how I've addressed anyone who's brought that screenshot message to my attention. It's regarding a Facebook page, like a fart in a windstorm. Facebook pages are here one day and gone the next. I'm dealing with the reality of synthesissocial.com being the only Canadian only patriot supportive site on the internet.
See, and that's the thing, is that it definitely is only Canadian. It definitely is the only one in existence. I mean, in fact, the whole platform was designed around a hash of a lot of different ideas into one for that reason, you know. And it's nowhere is it reflective of a specific name or an individual. It's not about an individual or a name. It's not Gary Gilbert synthesis or synthesis, you know, whatever. It's not about anybody's claim to brand it with their name or their flavor. It is a place for you and people like you to be able to go and do what you're doing now, where you're running into problems, being blocked. You know, that's it. That's really what it comes down to. There's nothing to read into it. There's nothing to you know, try to change its concept or direction. It's simply, here's a chance for you to speak your voice without having to worry about being blocked by Facebook or YouTube or anything like that. And you know, if an accusation, well, you're into censorship, well, no, I'm not. And if you want to prove me wrong, just go and post. You know, it's that simple. You know, if your post is left up, well, then hey, you know, obviously that the misconception is just not true. You know.
Well, I don't think that you would invite myself and some of the other people that you've invited in as creators if you were into censorship, because
Absolutely not. I mean,
I do
like
not hide the fact that I call shit, and I can tell you exactly what it smells like before you step in it.
when I approached you and some others, I did it with that specific thing in mind. I know that there's no way I'm going to be able to tell you, hey, Duke, you know what? Talk about this and nothing else. Hey, Duke, don't say this, you know, and I don't pretend to think that I should even do that anyways, you know, and I went to find the people that were controversial, that make people think, you know, they're not polishing it up and editing it to me some kind of, you know, scripted dialogue that we see with SM. You know, I am not a scripted dialogue kind of guy. I am not a polished guy. You know, I have a fucking potty mouth, and you know, I'm blunt, and it pisses a lot of people off. You know, and that's fine. I mean, again, it's not about the individual. It's about the message. And if you can't get by the words to get to the message, then you're not going to get it.
That's what it's about right there.
Exactly. It's that one
thing. It ain't about my fat dumb ass. It's about that big red maple leaf. It ain't about you. It ain't about anything else. That's what it's about. It's about making sure that the story and the lies that we were led to believe were truth become truth for our children's children and their children.
Which brings me back to the message that you received. It makes a certain claim in there. And that claim just isn't really being represented for what it is. But because I'm blocked, I can't respond to it. I can't reply to it. You know, I've invited him to come on the video and discuss it publicly, just like we're doing now, so everybody can see and hear all the facts. But of course, that's just not happening. You know, not because I don't want it to happen, but, you know.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, you can't see, that's always been my thing. I can't force somebody to do something. I don't pretend to think I can. You know, it's not right to begin with. And you can't do it anyways. So why even pretend to think that you should or could? There's a saying, you know, people say, oh, I don't want to bottle feed people. My thing is, I don't mind bottle feeding people, but I don't have to part their lips to do it. You know, you know, this whole thing came about with Stephen and his stance the minute I unfriended him. You know, so it's very curious, the timing, because all the stance that he has was never the case prior to that. You know, and if you have this stance, why wasn't it brought up before? The accusation the accusation is that I'm censoring people and that I'm being dictatorial or whatever. I'm being a dictator. But the information doesn't show that. The information shows that I've tried to include people, him included, and he just didn't participate. It's like me inviting you over, Duke. Come on over to my house. We're going to have some fucking moose steaks. And then you don't show up because you went drinking or whatever. And then you complain that you never got fed. Well, in order to get fed, you need to come and actually show up. It's that simple. If you don't show up, I can't control that. I can't force you to show up. And if I keep saying, hey, Duke, come on by, and you don't come by, how long do you think it's going to be before I say, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to keep asking you to come by. I'm going to move forward. Now, my big thing is, if you say, Gary, we're going to do this, I simply expect you to do this. In this case, I contacted you. I asked you if you would do this. You said, yep, we're going to do this. Give it to about 2 o'clock or so, and we'll get her going. And guess what happened? Here we are. It happened. You followed through with what you told me you were going to do. That, to me, is important. If you tell me something and you don't do it, what does that leave me to think?
Well, I have to be honest with you, Gary, and I have to step up and defend Stephen a little bit here. I know from sitting down at a picnic table and having a cold beer with him back in July in Ottawa, the young man is having a tough go of things as far as being ostracized because of his activities and his beliefs. You just informed me today that he's actually moved out west. I didn't even know that. He's no longer in Ottawa. I wish him the best of luck out west. I really do like Stephen. I think he's a fine young man, and he probably is going to do some great things in his life. Politics at this point in his life is not a priority. Having a roof over his head, that sort of thing. Maybe that is more of it would be more of a priority to me if it was an issue. And for all I know, maybe it is an issue for Stephen. I do know that I do know in his defense, I can state that in July he was having a tough go of things personally. Okay.
Don't mistake this for something that it's not. I have been one of the most ardent supporters of Stephen from the very beginning. I have defended him at every turn whenever he received criticism. That's documented on his pages and in other places. I have always supported Stephen in his direction because I had faith in Stephen. And I still do. Like, this isn't about me suddenly, oh, I hate Stephen. I don't. In fact, I wished him well when I left and said, you know what, it's pretty simple. You're busy. You can't do this. I'm going to move forward. I wish you well. And that's documented. You know, I haven't talked smack about him. I haven't blasted him in public. I haven't even sent him shitty messages. You know, that's not me. I moved on because this was important. I had to continue. And because I committed, I couldn't just drop it. So I said, you know what? You're too busy for this? Great. I wish you well. And that was up to the last bit of conversation we had last night. And then all of a sudden this. So this isn't me trying to make Stephen into, whatever. I mean, it's not about that. It's addressing the claims he's making against me since I've unfriended him, which, by the way, was done over a week ago. And he only responded now. So that kind of tells you how much he paid attention. You know, he's on Facebook. He's making posts. He's making comments, interacting with folks. He didn't with me. So that gave me a message that he's just not that interested. And if that's the case, I'm not going to force him.
Bye.
I'm not going to try to force him to do something he doesn't want to do. And I'm not going to hamper him or step in his way from what he's doing. But what he's doing right now is directly trying to hamper the progress of Synthesis Canada or Synthesis Social or any of these things, simply because of a personal nature. And there's the difference.
Well, you saw that post I put up there from Deborah Ann.
I kind of missed that, actually. Sorry.
She says that Stephen is great at that, not replying or showing up. Then he cries to everyone. I haven't experienced that with Stephen. In fact, I
Okay,
didn't
then
even
this.
just to be fair, to give Stephen credit where credit is due, because I'm always the devil's advocate. I will call foul and I will call fair. Okay. To be fair, Stephen went out of his way with zero funding and traveled all the way from Ottawa to St. Catharines in the middle of, well, the beginning of February last winter to come to my rally in February against Chris Biddle. Like, I got to give credit where credit is due. The guy went out of his way to come and support a fellow patriot.
And I'm like I said, I absolutely supported him with these things. Absolutely, 100%. I had never done anything but defend him. But sometimes when your actions don't match your words, you got to really analyze things. And do people do things so others can see them when really they have different reasoning behind it? Absolutely. Just because somebody says the right things, does the right things at the moment, doesn't mean that's their stance. That's what they're showing you. And again, that's the devil's advocate. I'm not saying Stephen is a
play
patriot.
great hockey in the first period, but if you're no good in the second and third period, you're not helping the team.
Exactly. That is my stance. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It matters what you're doing now, what you're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can do all these wonderful things. I've done a lot of good things in my life. It's not about that. It's what I'm doing right now. And there is the difference in this situation. And again, I'm pretty sure I sent you that message, where his very last words to me. I did. I'll send it to you one more time. Maybe you can pull that up and put it on screen for me, because that really puts a lot of what he's saying now into context. That was quite literally the last thing he said to me last night. And that goes against the grain of what he's claiming now. So these aren't my words. This isn't supposition. This isn't anything else but his words.
I'm just trying to find it now.
It's in your messenger on Facebook. The very last message I just resent to you.
Okay.
I'll read it just for people to hear.
No, I got it. I got it here. Give me just a second. Share my desktop. Share. Add broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to move it over. People should still be able to hear you, but I'm going to move over and put this desktop screen so that people can, because this is a small little sort of picture of a chat, it'll be easier for viewers to see it if I make it the whole screen. So I'm going to pop you and I off of here. I'm not sure if people can hear you. They should still be able to hear me. I'll put it up there for like maybe 30 seconds or so. Let people check it out. And
I want people to look at the timestamp so they could see it was last night at night.
Okay. All right. So, folks, if things get a little choppy here with not being able to hear Gary or not being able to hear me, hang in there for a few seconds. I'm going to pop this up. I will read through it. And then I figure if I can read through it with my dirty glasses and syllable readings, see Jane run, then by that time you should be able to read through it. It's just a short little screenshot that I'm going to put up here. So Gary, keep talking.
by Stephen Myatt about the position, and how apparently I'm engaging in censorship or being a dictator on how things are going in the direction they're going. And my response is, our conversations with the group of people in question, including Stephen Myatt, shows differently. Shows that everything I did, I went to them and said, I need input, I need some assistance, and had people respond, well, I'll do this, and then just never did. In fact, we were supposed to have weekly meetings and they just couldn't show up. There was only a couple people that ever actively participated. Stephen was not one of them. So his claims that somehow it was being dictatorial to his participation is just absolutely not true. That's the issue. The chat logs show differently. I tagged him specifically, repeatedly, in the group before the group went public to help get things set up, to set policies, to do all these things. And he absolutely had all the reasons in the world why he couldn't. And I didn't get mad. I didn't talk shit. I didn't attack him. I just said, okay, you know what? It's cool. I'll move on forward. You guys are too busy. Enjoy your day, and I wish you well. You know, because I realized that I can't, you know, that saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. I understand that. I can't make somebody do something they're not willing to do. But if they tell me they're going to do something they do not follow through, I can only accept that for so long before I move on. And that's what I did. And the minute, like that post that was put up there, that part of the chat log that was put up there, the minute I unfriended him, when he actually paid attention to it a week and a bit later, he got upset that I unfriended him. But ask anybody, Denise Nicole Wiebe, she's known me for a long time, her and Peter. And they've known how much I've defended and supported Stephen over the couple of years that have passed on literally everything. Whether I agreed or not, I believed in Stephen. And I've supported him. I've never talked shit about him. I've never tried to derail him. I've never tried to, hamper his decisions or his direction, because it was his choices. So the fact that he's taking the stance now goes against what he said. And not only does it go against what he said, it goes against, just the common sense of participate, but I'm going to let you do all the work and then not do a damn thing. That's not a patriot, and it's sad because I don't like to say these things. I don't like to feel this way. I don't like to try to, you know what I mean? But if I have to, as much as beg you to come and say something on the page or go log into the site, I can only do that for so long before you make me feel like an asshole, as if I'm hounding you to do something that's just very simplistic and expected. And then after the fact, to come back and say, well, I don't like the direction. Well, when I begged you to participate and actually, put something into it, you ignored it. You didn't participate. I have to move forward. I can't just let this sit here because you're too busy. I'll accept that you're too busy. I'll wish you well, and I'll keep moving forward. Then when you block me and start talking against it, that's absolutely incredulous. I mean, it's definitely more than a little asinine. So again, it's not me trying to tear down Stephen. It's just holding him accountable for his words, period. And the fact that I would love to have kept this out of the public aspect and just deal with it. If I got a problem with you, Duke, I'm going to come to Duke. I'm not going to go to fucking Don Murray or Deborah Ann or Peter Wall. I'm going to come to Duke and say, hey, what's going on? But that would be like me saying, oh, well, I don't like Duke's beard. So I'm going to block Duke and I'm going to talk shit about him. And he won't see it because...
How can you not like the beard? I mean, come on, dude.
I actually do like the beard. It's pretty fucking epic.
I actually, honest, true story, sidetrack. At work, I get to listen to the radio, and Thursday afternoon, the DJ, Christy Knight on 91.7, they kind of go through these, what day is it? And she does a thing called the brain tease, and it's like a trivia game answering thing, right? If you guess the right answer, you win tickets to whatever the hell show the radio station. So anyhow, her question was, what do women consider the one thing that makes men sexy?
Beards. Obey
Exactly. I
Denise just
thought
said,
to myself, this was just days after my birthday, and I thought to myself, I know the answer to that. I can't help it. I'm bearded and I was born in November. I'm perfect.
Denise just made a comment. She said, yes, I know Gary well. He speaks the truth. I don't keep friends who lie. Now, that sounds like I'm tooting my horn by repeating her comment, but it is very important because the last statement she said is what is the key. That normal people, they don't keep people who lie in their circle. And I know that you and I have discussed this about this situation specific, and you wanted me to not come out and say that, and I'm trying not to. But if, again, when you say something, good people don't keep people like that around them. That's why I unfriended him. It was that simple. But I didn't attack him, or I didn't talk trash about him behind his back or to anybody. And normally, if you say something to somebody repeatedly, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And you count on that, and I don't do it. Well, that's kind of all it is. It's a lie. And maybe that's a harsh or blunt way to put it, but I'm sorry. That's it is. I didn't create this idea of what a lie is. That's just what it is. Saying something that's untrue, saying something that's not factually true. If he would have said, hey, you know what? I'm too busy to participate. I love the idea. You go and run with it, but I've got other shit. I could have respected that, and we wouldn't be in the position we are now. You know what I mean? Like, I respect people that are honest and upfront and say, I'm just too busy. I'm not going to get mad at you for being too busy, but when
Even if things change and you make a commitment and life gets in the way of living, which, hey, happens to me every friggin' day. It's called work. But to be on the serious side, if you make a commitment and then life comes along and grabs you by the short and curlies and says, dude, you ain't doing that. You got to go deal with this. Just let people know. That's all it takes.
It's communication. Don't ignore it.
Anyhow,
just communicate. So it's a shame the things have went the way they have on that aspect. But I need to refute the fact that Synthesis Social is about anything supporting, censorship or being a dictator or anything like that. That's absolutely what it stands against.
Well, it better, or it's going to have a rude awakening with me on its front door.
Well, knowing the kind of things that you put out there, why would I even bring you into the spectrum of it? Put it on your radar, knowing that if I do start censoring you, what are you going to do? You're going to come.
I'm going to put a big sign on the back of my truck.
That's right. So why the fuck would I do that?
Just so for those of you who don't know it, you can go to my YouTube channel, my Duke Willis YouTube channel, and on there you can find a video, new sign on my truck. It tells you how I spend donations that come to me. One of my followers, a regular viewer and commenter on my videos from the East Coast, sent me out of the blue, sent me $100. I used it to go and get graphics lettering on the back windows and side windows of my truck. Go check out the video on my YouTube channel, and you may be surprised how I spend donations. So yeah, Gary, if you screwed up, I'd peel that all off, and for $100, be bad mouthing you up and down the QEW for a couple of million people to see.
I wouldn't be expecting anything different. I mean, if you picked up a few things about me in our conversation so far, you realize that I'm a big believer in accountability. That's exactly what we're doing here right this second. It's about accountability. If I fuck up, take me to task. You know what I mean?
Trust me, I will.
And I expect everybody to do that. That's kind of the point, is that we don't get to hold people accountable for their words and deeds these days, and it needs to change. You know, you can't just badmouth something, or you can't just make, statements and platforms and then just do the opposite. And to accuse somebody or condemn somebody prior to even having the evidence based off of that is just, that's not common sense. And he's actually actively telling people not to go join Synthesis Social. So he's trying to derail it before they even get into it to find out, which is, that's not a good thing. At the very least, he can respect my right to move forward and allow people to make their own decisions. Instead of saying don't go support him. Or those people can come to me directly. Like I said, I put my telephone number up on the screen, or you did rather. So it's out there. People can watch or call that. They can talk to me on Facebook. They can email me. They can do whatever they like, and I will.
They can email you right here through this very group page.
That's
they
right.
They can email to politically speaking with Duke at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So it can be public. Hell, send me the email. I'll share it on my videos and make them accountable to the public.
I'll send you the whole chat transcripts from our conversations as a group and as individual.
There you go, folks.
All we got to do is read it, and they'll see his claim that he wasn't involved is actually not true, because it's right there. He's involved. He's bringing people to it. His claim that he didn't have input. Well, that's not true, because repeatedly I'm asking people, hey, I need to get feedback from you guys. We need to move forward. Give me some input. Those kinds of simple things go in the face of the accusation, And again, it's all about if you want to participate, or if you want to have your voice, you need to participate. You can't just not participate and then expect that your voice is heard when it was never shared.
Well, this is going out over YouTube. I had a little interruption in the stream here on YouTube, but now that it's going out over YouTube, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to mention it and post it again tonight on my 9 o'clock show, because we're going to wrap this up real quick here, Gary. We've been an hour. I want to point out to people.
Flies.
What's that?
Time flies. It doesn't feel like an hour.
Yeah. I want to point out to people that we're back on here at 9 o'clock tonight. I also want to remind everyone that synthesissocial.com, Gary, has given the 5 content creators, I almost said program creators, content creators that he's invited to the site. He's given all 5 of us 10 exclusive 1-month memberships to hand out to our followers and our supporters, to let them come and test synthesissocial.com for 30 days, December 1st through to New Year's. January 1st, the site is going public. So I need 10 people who are going to spend a couple of hours every day surfing the content that's being posted, commenting, looking for problems and errors, and giving feedback to Gary and to his developers, so that if you find a problem, this link doesn't work, let him know so that his people can get on it. The site, I've posted it. I'm going to share it again tonight during my show. The site looks so much like Facebook, it's unreal. You're not going to have a problem navigating it, okay? So if you're interested in being part of the team that's building this Canadian-only webpage, contact me at dukewillis@gmail.com. Send me an email. I want to hear from you. We're going to talk. I want to know, are you going to be an active participant? Are you going to be able to provide creative, constructive criticism that Gary and his team can build on in order to fix and build this site into what you, the people of Canada, want? Because it is a Canadian-only site.
Yeah, that has to be stressed. I mean, some people think it's a bad idea doing just Canadian only. Some people think it's a good idea. For me,
it's the best fucking idea.
there is absolutely 1,000 sites out there for global participation. I don't need to duplicate that. I want to focus on Canadian issues with Canadians, not Canadian issues with somebody from Russia or Japan or Germany. I want to focus on hearing back from Canadians, so we can focus on solutions, not regurgitate the problems. We already do all that. Facebook does that. Other places do that, and we need to move forward. That it's all about moving forward. It's like a tree. If a tree doesn't grow, it stagnates and it dies.
Yep.
And that's what we don't want to happen to Canada. We need to move forward and grow. Go to black fonts. Yeah, we're actually working on that, Debran.
Yes. Now, see, there's some feedback coming in, but folks, I need 10 dedicated, hardworking, active people to be my group of 10 on Synthesis Social. Why? Because if my group of 10 is the most active group of the 5 content creators, we win a friggin' prize, okay? So get off your fat ass, fire up your keyboard, grab your mouse by the tail, send me an email, dukewillis@gmail.com. I want you clicking, liking, sharing, doing whatever, posting comments, sending feedback back to Gary. I want you on Synthesis Social on my team so that we win the prize.
If you're absolutely not 100% sure you're going to be active and participate on a daily basis, you're not going to help Duke. And it's not going to be it's going to be off merit. It's going to be off of actual results. So Duke is going to have a code that he's going to give you so that when you join, you'll be able to let me know that you're on Duke's team specific. And the site automatically creates points based off of your participation. And like you said, whichever group creates the most points is going to have some stuff that they can give away through Duke to his group that participated. So you can't let them down. Say I'll do it. Go take a peeky leak, and kind of say that's kind of cool, and then just not do anything. This is the core again of what this conversation was about. It's about committing and following through. So you need that follow, folks. You need to support Duke and his team if you want to participate. Otherwise, then you can just wait till January.
If you're the kind of person that goes out, that sends back a RISVIP to your niece that, we'll come to your wedding, but come wedding time, you decide, hell no, I'm going to the cottage. Take this gift, give it to UPS, and send it to them 2 days before the wedding so they've got it there. We won't make it. Sorry.
Ed says,
if that's the kind of person you are, don't send me an email. Okay?
What's the name of Duke's group? I would say Duke Jamanasak.
I don't have a group on Synthesis Social yet. There's only 5 content creators on Synthesis Social. If you send me an email, I will forward your email to Gary. Gary already has 10 blank profiles with user numeric codes that his computer system will follow. These profiles will be deleted at the end of December. So this isn't going to be something you're stuck with for the rest of your time on Synthesis Social. Okay?
You won't.
These profiles are being used for him to track where you're going, what you're doing, and where you're finding problems, because you are going to be part of the building process for this site. Okay? You are going to be end user feedback to the guys who are building the site.
Believe it or not, folks, we're doing this to make the best site we can for you. And we're competing with the likes of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube with a budget of, I don't know, 1/1000th of the budget that they have. So it's important to use that feedback that we can address any kind of improvements prior to going public. We want to give you the best platform we can. I mean, we don't want to just do a half-assed job and have it fall flat. We want you to enjoy it, you know. So that's why the feedback is so important.
Yeah, but you have to think of this. Here's a good analogy, a good comparison for you to think of. Your feedback, your help in creating and building and designing this website is going to allow Gary to go public, to produce and publish a fully operational website rather than something that's only half completed. Would you buy a car if you drove past a dealership and every car in the lot was sitting there with no friggin' doors and no windshield because they're only half completed? No. Would you leave Facebook to go to another site that may look exactly the same, but half the links don't work because nobody tested them out ahead of time? No, you wouldn't. You'd go check it out and you'd leave. So if you want your friends on Facebook to come to this friggin' site in January so that we Canadians can do what needs to be done for this country, now is your chance to help me, to help Gary build this to be what we need.
See, my last comment on the topic will be this, so we can shut this down. You hear every day how people complain about the censorship issue on Facebook and how they don't support censorship. You now have that opportunity to put your money where your mouth is, because now you have that platform that is censor free. And that's what it comes down to, you know. You can't say you're against censorship as you keep using and supporting the things that censor. This, not one person on there that have used it so far has ever had a post deleted, have been thrown in synthesis jail, have been removed. None of this shit. Not one. You know, and you'll see that for yourself when you go on yourself. In fact, I challenge you, try to piss me off to get censored. It's not going to happen. I might respond, I might reply, but you're not going to get censored. I don't delete comments because I don't like them.
I've spent 4 months out of 11 in Facebook jail this year. So I'm going to say this right here and now. If you have a synthesis jail, do me a favor and tag one cell just for me so I don't have to share a fucking toilet. Okay?
We don't. That's the thing.
All right, good.
You know,
good.
We don't. I don't believe in that. I don't. I will never bend. See, for me to censor, I have to be pressured to censor. And the people that pressure to censor are those that have a vested interest economically. And we don't have that. We don't have that benefit of fucking Zuckerberg getting paid billions of dollars through advertising to tell me what I can and can't do for my members. This isn't some kind of, you know what I mean? So I absolutely have no reason to buckle to pressure somebody else to try to bully me into how I should try to censor or not. I just don't. And therefore I don't censor because it's not. And the thing is, I've said this repeatedly. I don't censor. I won't censor. It's been posted in text. I've been said it over voice. So if you believe that somebody else says, oh, well, he's a dictator and he's a censorship person, he believes in censorship, well, I can't change that. That's your choice to believe it. But evidence speaks differently.
You can believe what you want to believe. It doesn't change the truth, according to Al Kirshner.
That's right. You could choose to ignore reality, but reality isn't going to spare you of the consequences.
Yeah.
You know, life doesn't change just because you wish it would. Life is what it is. Truth is what it is. So if you think I'm a censorship person, come try it. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, but first, go take a look at my video catalog on Facebook and on YouTube and realize that he's going to let me put those on his website, and a whole lot worse shit than what you see on social media now, because this is a .com website, not a Facebook /Duke Willis page. It is a .com website, so I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, and if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Oops, wait a minute. This is Facebook. I can't talk like that.
It's that simple. See, I don't advise people on what they can or can't put on, or what direction they take on their groups or their pages or their profiles. I won't do that. My job isn't to try to regulate your behavior. My job is only to present a platform for you to be able to speak. And if Duke goes on that kind of a tangent and people don't like it, guess what happens to Duke? He becomes irrelevant. They don't listen. They ignore him. You know,
Yeah.
That's on Duke. That's not on me, because I'm not pulling Duke's strings. I don't want to be that guy. I have no interest in that. I wouldn't invite Duke and some of the other people specifically that I have if I was really concerned with what they had to say. I know that I will probably be surprised more often than not at the content that comes out. But it's not my job to worry about it. I won't be looking at every little detail of what's said or done. I'll be looking at, how do I keep this fucking thing going so people can continue? I don't care if Duke has 5 viewers or 5 million viewers. I don't give a shit, because that comes back to Duke, not me,
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that Duke will have a massive following, because I happen to enjoy not what he presents, but how he presents it. So,
Well, thank you.
For me, it's not about personal desires or personal wants. It's about, tell me what you got to say, and I'll make my fucking decision on whether I'm going to listen to Duke or not. And if Duke starts talking some weird shit that I don't like, I'm going to say, you know what, Duke, that's kind of fucked up. You need to fuck off. Goodbye. It's that simple. That doesn't stop Duke from talking. Doesn't stop him from sharing his fucked up views. People have a thing with me. I've got this thing about midgets. I love midgets. I got a midget weird thing. Some people can't take that. So guess what happens? They don't tune into what I have to say. Because midgets come up in conversation quite often. That's on me. That's not on Duke. That's not on Ed. That's not on Denise. It's on me. And I have to suffer or either risk the consequences or the rewards from my choices. And that's what synthesis is about. It's allowing you to reap the rewards or suffer the consequences of your words and deeds. Period. And it's not going to change. And until it does, you really don't have any reason to think differently. So, yeah, I don't know. Thank you for your time, Duke. Thank you for discussing this with me. Oh, definitely put the lotion on the skin, or you're getting the fucking hose again. Absolutely.
Okay. That's a conversation we're not going to have in public, Vern.
Again.
Because I can see John smiling from here.
I actually
thanks for your time, and I'm glad I was able to give you a chance to explain yourself and give people the proper perspective. There's always two sides to a coin. I am the devil's advocate, and I will show you both sides of that coin.
I don't want anybody to think that somehow I'm naive enough to think there won't be opposition. But if you've got opposition against my position or stance, don't make up shit. Use my words. Use my choices, and challenge me. Talk to me. Engage in that dialogue. Because if you don't do that, then seriously, you're part of the problem, not the solution.
Exactly. Gary, I hope you join us tonight at 9:00.
I will not join you. I will watch tonight. I have to focus. I want to watch. I want to enjoy the show as a participant, not or as a viewer, not a participant.
You want to sit in the bleachers and not be part of the circus.
Dude, my popcorn goes cold and stale by the time the show is over. I want to eat it while I'm doing it. I don't want to be on the spotlight, and actually have to think. I want to sit back and listen and enjoy it. You've got the Frenchman coming on. maybe Ed. You've got lots of people to draw from, and
Yeah, great guest, eh?
I want to hear their positions. I want to hear their thoughts. You know,
I'm
because that's how I grow. When I hear your position on something, I can choose to incorporate it in my own thought, or I can choose not to. But I can't grow unless I get more exposure to more information.
You got to take a little cloudy weather along with the sunshine when you're a flower.
Absolutely.
Denise is asking 9 o'clock Eastern. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Toronto time. So that's 9 p.m. tonight, Toronto time, Eastern Standard Time. Ed says he wants a desktop icon app so I don't have to log in. Oh,
I want
poor sad Ed.
I want 15 grand, Ed, so I can actually have it built because I've already spent almost 12 and I can't afford it. It'll come. But if you want it now, step up.
All right, Gary. We're going to say goodbye for now, and hopefully we'll see your comments in the chat room tonight on Politically Speaking.
Oh, I'm pretty sure you will. Just do me a favor and please send me a link to it to view it.
I will. I don't want to get close to your timeline, so I'll send you a viewer's link. I sent you two today, a viewer's link and then a guest link. They're two different links. I'll send you a viewer's link for tonight's show.
In the lobby. I don't want to wind up in the lobby this time like I did last night. I want to actually click.
All right. I'll make sure we got it right.
You enjoy your night, or you enjoy your day rather, and I'll see you tonight.
See you, Gary. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. There you go, folks. That was Gary Gilbert from synthesissocial.com addressing some issues that have been popping up inside Facebook regarding Stephen Myatt. I've left this post up here from Denise. She points out that revolutions have been started by 3 people in history. And it just kind of struck me as karma ironic that she chose the number 3. It only took 3% of the US population in 1776 to overthrow and defeat what was the largest military force in the world at that time and create the independent United States. 3% of the US population. That's all it took, ladies and gentlemen. Islam is less than 2% of the Canadian population, and look at what they're doing to our country right now, quietly, proving to us that the pen is mightier than the sword. Folks, thanks for tuning in on a Saturday afternoon. I'm going to finish up this Facebook show, log out of my YouTube channel, and we're going to call it a day. I will be back at 9 o'clock tonight, right back here on Politically Speaking with Duke Willis on Facebook, and it will be rebroadcast out to you on YouTube at 9 o'clock. If you're on YouTube and you want to comment or bring your cam to the show, please log into Facebook. You can contact me at dukewillis@gmail.com if you need information on how to log in with your cam. Folks, thanks again for watching. I hope it was informative. And should any of this conversation come up during your surfing and chatting on Facebook, please be sure to tell people the truth and tell them where you heard it. Right here with Duke Willis on Politically Speaking. Till tonight, folks, keep Canada Canadian. And there you go, folks. That's our for today. Rather impromptu. Well, let's get this echo out of here. Include Adolfo from Montreal, bringing us a man on the streets in one of the most cosmopolitan cities in our country. And of course, I am going to be talking about synthesissocial.com, Canada's first, Canada only Patriot website. To learn more, join us on Facebook, Politically Speaking with Duke Willis, or right here on YouTube, Politically Speaking with Duke. Sorry, that got caught in my throat. Politically Speaking with Duke at gmail.com is the email address for my Facebook channel. 9 o'clock tonight, folks. We'll see you then. Take care.
Descriptive of person includes a corporation. So what is a person here in